What's up, guys? First call of the day. We got a Liebert unit, a little data mate that supplies cooling for a UPS room. And that UPS room has backup power for our main IT room systems here. So this is a critical system. If you ever do have a power failure or issues with main power, these units here keep that room cool. So they did have a power failure. The controller downstairs was registering it. I cleared the alarm, but they can't figure out why AC10 will not come on and only AC3 is running right now for the room. So let's go down and take a look at that. Okay, so here's our UPS room. These are our Liebert air handlers in the ceiling. AC3, no issues. For some reason that didn't register a power failure alarm, but AC10 did. AC10 is right here. I don't know why they labeled them 10 and 3. Should be 3 and 4, but anyways, that's fine. Our power is on to our system. Here's our controllers. We have no alarms here. It says here, unit is off by remote shutdown, and AC3 is dehumidifying and cooling. Let's look into this. All right, so today is starting off actually very easy. This here is a lead lag system, or on off, I guess you could say. So all this does here, we have AC3 as our lead system, AC10 as backup. So I guess facility maintenance or the customer wasn't aware that if you wanted to switch this over, it's as simple as this. And there it is, AC10 just kicked on. No alarms present. And now AC3 unit is off by remote shutdown. Simple as that. We're gonna switch it back to 3 and easy start to the day. All right, we're at our second service repair. We were here last week and the unit would not stop running. The room was down to like 60 degrees, coil was frozen, water all over the floor. And that was because the contactor was seized or welded shut, sorry. But anyways, this unit here is very poor access because of these wall brackets. It's got a couple small Phillips screws on the top. This is a big honker of a contactor, especially for a 2-pole. I think it's a 40 amp. There's our contactor. And our coil voltage is right here, so it's 24 volts. Let's put our new one in place. Would you look at this? Here's our replacement contactor versus our old one. Look at the sheer size difference of these. Both 40 amp, both 24 volt coils. Just incredible how things have gotten cheaper and cheaper. This is actually a perfect time for me to show you guys how a contactor works and what it actually does. This can translate to residential very easily because this is a split system just like you'd have in your house. This would be your outdoor condenser, which I've shut the main power off to, which is here and here. And we have an indoor air handler in this situation here. It does not have any heat on it because this room is cooling only. It's for a bunch of server racks. Anyways, to simplify it, essentially when your thermostat would go above the set point, so there would be a call for cooling or air conditioning, it would send a 24 volt signal out to this contactor to let power through this bridge essentially. So I'll show you, I haven't shut the power off downstairs yet, but check this out. So if I take off our 24 volt wire, come on, there we go. Our coil has just de-energized. So check this out. This would be a call from your thermostat for cooling. See that plunger? It's just pulling in. And all that's doing is letting our primary voltage from here through the top side, energizing our compressor and usually our condenser fan motor too. So that's how an air conditioner is turned on essentially. We're gonna go downstairs and shut that off now so we don't short anything out. Okay, here's our room with our air handler. This place is an absolute dump, but we gotta shut power off to this because that coil's still energized outside. This is probably fused and we will blow power to our fuses, which is not good. We don't want that. So what are we looking for here? Air conditioner inside, 14, 16, fans off, perfect. All right, let's mount this new contactor here. We're gonna try and use one of the two holes that we had from before. Nice, one screw. Let's mount our second one here. Awesome, let's wire this bad boy up. So the reason that I didn't take the wires off of this before I pulled it out is because it's easier to put them where they have to go when you have a reference. The only difference with this contactor right now is that the coil for this one, the 24 volt coil's on the bottom, and this one here is on the side. Most of your newer contactors, you'll find your coils on the side. So those are our coil wires, 24 volt, and then we can just switch these over from terminal to terminal. So these top two here, these two or three will go on our pins, these bottom two on these lugs, and this lead here onto our bottom spade. So I've already done our hot in and our compressor terminals here. I'm going to show you guys the spade connections though. So these will come off the top and you can match them like so. This way you never forget where your wires go. And the nice thing about this new contactor, it actually has 4 spades per side, whereas this one only had 2. So let's get the last few of these in. And it doesn't matter which spot you pick on the top there, that's just like a common bank, I guess you could say. And this bottom one here might be a little more tricky to get on, but let's put this on here. Perfect. So let's go fire our power on. We'll check running pressures and on to our next. Oh, and by the way, you guys can always check your contactors at home too. Just shut your power off, but can you see the burn up in there? How it was welded shut together? That's not good. If your contactor is starting to look burnt up like this, I strongly recommend you replace it. It's not hard to do, so keep an eye out for that. All right guys, we just turned our power on downstairs. Let's double check that we still have a call for AC. I'm gonna put my microphone beside this coil. Keep in mind the main power is not on outside, just our 24 volt side, so listen. See that? That's a call for air conditioning. This contactor here has a cover on it. If I took this off, you would see those 2 bridges pull in. Okay, let's turn this unit on. Okay guys, here's another actual good tip I can give you. So this unit here has service valves on it. So there's no Schrader cores in here, like some other systems will have. So this unit here is all controlled through these 2 stems. Usually there's a brass cap covering these. This unit's 40 years old, so they've deteriorated or broken away over the years, but you always have to put your gauges on first, your hoses. So you're gonna go high side, red, liquid line, little pipe, blue side, suction line, or your big insulated pipe on. And systems that have cores in them and do not have these stem style service valves we'd have pressure in there right now, because these fittings here from our gauges would depress those Schraders, generating a reading on here. So what we're going to do is we're going to take our service wrench. You can use an adjustable. Don't use channel locks though. You don't want to round these out. And we're going to give it just a hair of a turn. Oh, the system's a bit older, so it's taking a little more to register, but there we go. Usually it'll only take a quarter turn. Maybe this one will be a better example. Nope. There we go. There's our pressure in our gauges. So never take these off until you close these. And I was turning this clockwise, which will front seat them and let pressure into the system. Let's turn this on, and then I'll show you how to reverse that afterwards. Power's on, compressor kicked in. Let's watch our running pressures here. We're pulling down on our low side. Head pressure's coming up. What do we got here? 50-degree indoor coil. So about 75 PSI on our low side, and this is R22. Our head pressure is 300, which is a touch high, but I have the cover off on this, and this coil here also looks like it could use a wash. This is a split coil. There's 3 individual passes here. So when this is washed, you generally have to pull them apart. When you take all this cover off, you can actually split them and then wash them correctly. But I think the customer is going to do that themselves. So this unit's running good. Let's remove these gauges, and I'll show you how to do that safely now. Okay, now I'll show you how to take your gauges off safely so you don't lose all the refrigerant charge in the system. We're going to do the opposite of what we did before. We're going to go counterclockwise until this valve here is fully open or back seated. And you can take your red hose off now, your high side. And before we actually back seat this suction port side, we're going to take the refrigerant from our red line here. We're going to open this and dump it back in to our low side of the system. That way we don't lose any refrigerant, or minimal. We can shut this off now. Everything's off, and we're going to back seat our suction line. Now that that's all the way off, both gauges can come off. The system is now sealed, and put your caps back on. And if you have your stem covers, put those back on too. All right, let's get to the third call of the day. Customer said the ceiling fell down inside because of a water leak from an AC unit. We believe it's this rooftop right here. And let's go downstairs and quickly check out the damage. Let's open up this compressor door. Throw our gauges on, see what the system looks like inside. Oh boy. That coil's frozen up, so is that compressor. This could be an airflow problem. Could be low on charge. Let's look into it. Let's hook up our low side gauge here, see how low we're running. I believe this is an older unit as well, running off R22. Oh yeah, look how low those pressures are. We're gonna have to thaw this unit out. Let's open up the blower door, see if we can get a look at the evaporator coil, even the filter door. Guarantee you, it's a solid ball of ice. Filter door. Sometimes when your air filters are really plugged up, your coil can freeze up. Yeah, those don't look too healthy, do they? Holy shit. And they're frozen, stuck to the coil. Oh my God. I can't even pull them off. Check this out. So here's our filter, fairly dirty, and it's frozen solid right to the face of that coil. Whew. All right, well, we're gonna try and thaw this thing out now. I'll show you guys a fast way to thaw these package rooftops out. We're gonna also take our blower door off here. Just see what our belt looks like. Tension's not bad. Fan's probably okay. Let's just bump it on quick and make sure that motor runs. A little bit of a squeal, but we have the panel door off. Either way, it's not an airflow problem. Let's make sure our fan's going the correct way. Verifying blower rotation. Fan is going the correct way. These little scoopers here inside the squirrel cage or blower wheel are facing like this, so it scoops the air through the machine and down. So that's not a problem. So this is how we're gonna thaw this unit out quickly. We're gonna turn the furnace on, the burners, but we don't want our AC running. So we'll disconnect our Y1 wire, which is right there. Y1 on the terminal strip. That way our air conditioning won't come on through the thermostat, and we're gonna jump our heat out now. Show you how to do that. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna take our jumper from our R terminal here, which is our 24 volt power supply, and we're gonna go to W1. Like so. Let's fire this bad boy up. There goes our inducer motor, and our burners are on. So let's go. This unit should thaw out quickly. I mean, the customer might not like the fact that we got the heat on, but this here will be the fastest way to thaw out this evaporator coil here. So let's close this return door, and we'll be back when the ice thaws. See if we can break some of the ice away on this compressor housing. Woo! That's brutal. Jeez. You're gonna want to be a little more careful on your suction piping here. Copper is a lot softer than the steel casing, but kind of satisfying, isn't it? With the heat on only for about 5 minutes now, that coil's starting to thaw out, and you can see all the condensation that's coming out of the bottom now, or out of the trap, sorry. It wasn't running this heavily before. So what I think was happening was that coil was clearly frozen behind those filters, and the ice was probably melting, but also being created at the same point, and it was bypassing or spilling over our drain pan. So once we thaw that out, we're gonna throw our gauges back on and see if we can get running pressures, see what's actually going on. Low charge, who knows? 20 to 25 minutes later, coil's thawed. There's still little chunks of ice in the pan down there, but that's okay. Let's just make sure this trap is all good. A little bit plugged up. Nothing awful though. All right, let's throw our gauges on, see what kind of pressures we're working with. Okay, so we're gonna close up our filter door here. We don't wanna draw heat from outside and absorb it. We're going to want to absorb heat from our space. Our gauges are set up here. So that's what we're working with. We're running off R22 refrigerant, which is our green scale here. We're just under 30 degrees Fahrenheit. And what is freezing in Fahrenheit? 32 degrees. So that's why our coil's frozen. And our head pressure is high, 350 PSI. This system here is definitely low on charge. There's probably a leak in it somewhere. We're gonna try and find out now why our head pressure is up here. Realistically, we should probably be around the 250, 275 range. Let's look into that now. All right, so behind this electrical cover / condenser door, look at all of this. All of this surface dirt here, especially up high. That's the reason our head pressure's up. So a dirty coil will hike your head pressure, sometimes 100 PSI. And in extreme situations, it'll actually shut your unit down if you have a high pressure safety, or your compressor can go off an internal. So we're gonna do a leak check and repair on this system tomorrow, and we're gonna wash that condenser. All right, we put all our panel doors back in place. Filter doors on, check. Trap is back in. Compressor doors on. We're leaving those filters out for now. I'll pick some up and bring them back tomorrow. And we're gonna shut this unit off. No point in leaving it running. It's just gonna freeze up again, and we'll have to go through that whole process again tomorrow. So, okay guys, that's a wrap for the day. We're driving home a little bit after 4:30. We'll be back tomorrow to fix that rooftop unit up. Find the leak, repair it, charge it, all the good stuff. I'll make a video on that. But I wanted to address a problem area I've had with one of my prior videos, the mini split video. To those of you saying in the comments below that I'm a terrible technician, terrible person for dumping water on the floor, you'd never have me in your house. Just so you know, I had 3 towels from the hotel maintenance staff layered on the floor that was absorbing that water. So I would never do that at someone's house intentionally. I had no bad intentions with that. I just wanted to put that out there. But if you guys enjoy these videos I'm making for you, please like, subscribe, and comment, and I'll be back tomorrow. Take care.